Muir Woods trip. I asked ChatGPT what's the must-visit place near San Jose within 1 or 2 hours of driving that I haven't visited yet, and it said Muir Woods is a must. I actually wanted to visit this place a year ago, but when I arrived, they turned me back saying I didn't have a reservation. It was my first month in the United States. I had just bought a car and didn't have much driving experience. It was quite complicated and a big frustration. They told me I needed to make a reservation, but there was no self-service. I had to drive somewhere up the hill to find some signal. When I finally did, the closest available reservation was 3 or 4 hours later, and it was only 9 a.m. I didn't want to wait, so I just left and drove somewhere else. So yeah, I didn't get to Muir Woods that time. This was my second try. Luckily, this time I booked the reservation in advance, and as it was September 27, which is National Public Lands Day, and the entrance was free, so I just paid for parking. That was a nice little bonus. I built my road like this: Golden Gate Viewpoint, Battery Spencer, Hawk Hill, Muir Woods, Muir Beach Overlook. That was the plan, and I definitely recommend it. There was some traffic on the way, but I'd call it moderate, not bad. A couple of times I got stuck, but overall it wasn't too bad. The Golden Gate Viewpoint was decent, though I expected it to be bigger and maybe a bit more impressive. Not far from there is Battery Spencer, much more interesting, scenic, and beautiful for observing the Golden Gate. They are both on the same road, about 5 minutes apart, and you can even walk between them. A big thing for me was that Battery Spencer has a public restroom. There were also some old buildings, probably old barracks or something. Overall, I found Battery Spencer way more interesting than the Golden Gate Viewpoint. It gives you a better scene, more photo spots, and a more attractive view. After that, I headed to Hawk Hill, about 15 minutes from Battery Spencer along a serpentine road. There was plenty of parking, but I recommend not driving all the way to the top. If you park about 300 feet down, you will easily find a spot. The view from there was amazing. You can see the whole San Francisco and almost the entire bay. The view really made it worth the drive, and I had no regrets. I even recorded my first time lapse there. Really cool spot. There is also a tunnel leading to some hiking trails, but I didn't have time to explore them because my Muir Woods reservation was coming up, so I just did some quick recordings and headed out. After Hawk Hill, I finally went to Muir Woods, the main target of the trip. It's about a 30-minute drive from there. There were two parking zones. The first one was completely full, so they sent me to the second one, about 5 minutes away. That parking lot was also packed. I had to drive around for about 20 minutes until someone left. Honestly, that was the first disappointment of the trip. Even though you have a reservation for a specific time, people can stay as long as they want, which kind of defeats the purpose of the system. Eventually, I found a small spot between big pickup trucks. Pretty stressful parking. When I finally started my hike, I realized it was very crowded. For me, hiking in the woods means peace and silence, but here it was the opposite. Too many people, kids shouting, loud groups. I started with the shortest loop trail, but it can still take a couple of hours to finish. The first half hour was fine. I recorded, looked around, enjoyed it, but then I got bored. Another thing I didn't like is that you have to stay strictly on the trail. You can't go wherever you want, which I understand is for nature protection, but it feels restrictive. The further I went, the more I realized I was losing interest. I decided to turn back. It turned out to be a smart decision because otherwise I would have missed the next place, Muir Beach. When I got back, I noticed how dirty my clothes were. The trail is very dusty. Usually, hikes in the Bay Area leave you clean, but not this one. So yeah, keep that in mind. Wear something you don't mind getting dirty. By 5 p.m., I was tired and almost decided to skip it, but at the last moment, I changed my mind. It was only about 10 minutes away, so I drove there and I absolutely don't regret it. The view was stunning. Cliffs dropping into the Pacific, a calm ocean breeze, barely any people around. Everyone had space to enjoy the view without disturbing each other. It wasn't touristy at all. Honestly, if I could turn back time, I'd probably skip Muir Woods and just go to Muir Beach Overlook instead. Maybe even down to the beach itself. It's much more relaxing and inspiring. So in conclusion, the whole trip was great. I definitely recommend Golden Gate, Battery Spencer, Hog Hill, and Muir Beach Overlook. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what you'd recommend to see in that area that I might miss during my trip. And see you in the next one.